All right, here we go again. Still more official pictures of Lego sets that are coming up. Once again, credit to promobricks.de. They tend to be one of the first places, legitimate full-on websites to publish actual photos from Lego like this. So, just look around for places like that if you want to see these things as quickly as possible and in their original resolution and everything. Ultimately, these are official images from Lego. We don't have them at full resolution just yet, but in this video, I'm just going to give you my personal thoughts. And I'm going to start with all of the Spider-Man related stuff in this wave. This is the Spider-Man Mech, and I know that a lot of purists are going to be unhappy about things like this existing, or at least going to question why they exist, because after all, it's Spider-Man. He don't need a mech. Well, that's so true. The set comes with 152 pieces. It's set to go for €10, $10 US. I don't think so. I expect this to be at least 15 personally, but we shall see. But here's the thing. So it's marked how? For kids 6 and up? Yeah, I think kids 6 and up will be able to love this thing. And I mean, as a mech, keeping in mind it's a toy. As a mech toy, I think it's actually pretty cool. You know, it has some decent size to it. It's not a tiny thing. It has knees. It has elbows. Yeah, it has hands. That will work. You can put an actual figure in there using this container mech torso kind of system that they initially started with for, wasn't it Nexo Knights, I think? I'm glad they're getting more use of that kind of stuff. But overall, this looks good to me, and I think it'll be very playable, and I think a lot of kids will enjoy it. They also include a couple of hand holds. It's hard to see these web blast pieces over here, but the full standard set of those, a couple of hand holds so that Spidey himself, by himself, will be able to wield these things and use them. So, you get some additional use and possibilities there. And continuing on with the trend and theme of things that Spider-Man doesn't need, here's a very awkward motorcycle. Wait, is it a motorcycle or is it a spider mech thing with wheels also? I don't know. I don't understand exactly what they were going for here. I have not gone through all the material Googling to see if there was anything like this actually used in any of the comics or animated series or anything like that. But to me, this doesn't work, even considering the fact that it's for kids 6 and up, because this is awkward. Motorcycles you can drive around, yes. And then things like this, crawling mechs, you can pick up with your hand, with your fingers going around the edges, and you can hop it around and you can crawl it around. Or if you want to be more finesseful with it, you can move the individual legs. And this has some articulation in there. Even the little ones on the side have some articulation. So you can fold them out of the way. But just this combination of those two concepts together, I feel may be a bit awkward and a little bit difficult to play with. I do like the eyes on it, the headlights. But beyond that, this main thing that you're paying for in this set doesn't interest me personally. I do think this is a good Doc Ock. I do wish that those pieces there, those little 1x2 by 2/3 curved pieces, were printed rather than using stickers. I'm pretty sure they're going to use stickers. But beyond that, I think this is a fairly successful Doc Ock build, with the arms and everything. And then this is a SpiderGirl, which I believe, I looked this up briefly, I believe this is coming directly, not the character, but this interpretation of the character is coming directly from Marvel's Spider-Man, the animated series that started a couple years ago, I think. So fairly modern, fairly current. And I think this is the first time that Lego has done one of those figures. Moving on to, wait. I need to get my stuff together. I need to be better about this. 234 pieces here. Expected selling price of €30. I hope that it's $25 US or less. Discounted on day one to 20, 22 or something like that. Continuing again with the trend and theme of things that Spider-Man does not need. Talk about overkill here. This is the Spider Jet versus Venom Mech. And before I go beyond this, I'm going to look up. It's 371 pieces, expected to retail for €40 or $40 US. I think that's about where that's about where I expect it to be, and hope that it'll actually end up on the street at about $35 US or something like that. Either way, I think that this is in a value sense is going to be in the right range. This reminds me so much of like the Captain America jet or something like that. It's a very very classic superheroes style here. I think in general, they have the quad launcher over here for flick fire missiles with the nice little add-on warheads on there. That actually looks pretty good to me. And then on the other side, 2 disc launchers. So this will actually fire stuff off, for that active play. I think these wings are actually pretty cool. They're very simple, 2 pieces each for the most part, but looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Let's look at this by itself. So Venom Mech obviously is a dumb idea, but consider that just a name, and ignore the name and consider Venom being in that and part of that. So this is all Venom, and this I feel is even more successful than the last quote unquote Venom Mech set in or build in seeming like it's just Venom, like he's just expanded out his size, because you've got these additional arms and everything. It just feels like it all flows together, and especially when the minifig is in there, I think it's good. I like it. Just don't call it a mech. If that bothers you, it's perfectly fine. Consider all of this to be Venom himself, and yeah, I think that's pretty successful, and I think that this is going to be actually a pretty decent set. And then Spider-Man Noir over here is an interesting character. I'm not a major superheroes fan, just in general, Marvel or DC, but this is an interesting character to me, and I think that it's great to get that figure. I think that a lot of folks of all ages will appreciate having that as available as an actual official Lego minifigure. Okay, this is the Menace, Lego Spider-Man, the Menace of Mysterio, and it's a 4+ set. So this is at the bottom of the age range for sets that are not Duplo. So just above Duplo. This comes with Spider-Man. They're calling her now Ghost Spider, or you could also say Spider-Gwen, and then Mysterio. Nice cheap way to get a Mysterio. Nice cheap way to get a Spider-Gwen. 4+ set. Keep that in mind. This is not... why do we have such a small image for this? That's too bad. This is going to get really blurry. But I do want to say that I like this helicopter. For once, I can actually say I like a helicopter. Simple as it is, basic as it is, uninspired, you might say, as it is, for a 4+ set. For kids, I feel like that's going to be a very successful thing to play with, a very enjoyable thing to play with because of these landing gear. Those claws there add so much play value to this. I can't even begin to estimate just how much fun kids are going to have with that, because this whole thing is very durable. Most of it is one piece. Most of the fuselage is one big specialized piece for these juniorized sets, or juniors style sets. So you can grab all that and you can squeeze it. You can do whatever you want with it. You don't have to be gentle with it whatsoever. And then you can kind of have your fingers just coming down, or use your other hand and just bring this down on top of something and then grab it with those claws. You may need to use your own fingers a little bit, but it will feel more like it's actually being picked up by the helicopter itself than if you try to connect things together. If there was some sort of connector on the base of this that would match up to another piece on things that it would be able to pick up. This is just good design for fun. I think it may even be a little bit better than the designer was even expecting. This Mysterio thing, I'm assuming that this is supposed to, look at that. It looks like it's supposed to be hovering. I'm assuming that this is not even supposed to have the base kind of in universe. It's supposed to just fly around, your repulsor lift kind of craft, like a top half of a mech that just floats. It's too bad they weren't able to figure out a way to really drive that home, to really make that come across in this, because as it is, it looks like a mech, that has a wheeled base. Because, that's how they built it. But I think the idea of the thing itself is pretty cool. Too bad it had to have the wheels, but of course you can always just take it off. But then it doesn't have good stability at the base. Anyway, probably overthinking that a bit. And then it just has a little bank with a small vault on the front of it that can be pulled out, which looks like a fine little action feature there. And again, should have said this at the beginning, 163 pieces. It's 4+ sets, so you're never going to get a lot of complexity. 35 euros they're going to ask for this, though? No, sir. No, sir. I don't like it. I don't like that price whatsoever. I feel like that's too much for this. 30 feels like too much for this, just for what I'm seeing here in volume of stuff. Although with all the accessories, I can kind of start to see 30, but I like to see this more like $25, to be honest with you. Okay, I've got to move on to the Vulture's, what is this? Vulture's Truck? There's more there, isn't there? 93 pieces and $25 or 25 euro for this. I'll give it 20. I'll give it $20. And then I'll be not happy about it. I'd rather it be 15, to be honest. But I'll give it 20. So this comes with SpiderMan, a driver for the armored truck here, and then Vulture. A fairly basic but fairly effective version of Vulture, I think, with those wings. I think that'll be good to play with. And I actually like this truck. The design of it, I think, is very smart for a 4+ set, using that particular piece that has traditionally been used as fairing, an aerodynamic fairing over trucks, using that as the engine compartment cover, as the hood for this, I think is smart. I like that window piece, and those are big prints. I think this is a very good use of parts for a basic, easy to build set for young kids. It gives them something nice and large, and having the open top there means you can just dump stuff in it. You can use it as a dump truck if you want, just pick up the whole thing and just dump it out. So I think this is actually very, very good. One of the better vehicles that they've made for kids this young. The motorcycle, another motorcycle for Spider-Man that he doesn't need, but can definitely use as a toy. It's not that great. I like the red wheels, but other than that, it's just very basic. Very, very basic. There's not even really any spider stuff about it other than the colors. And it feels a little bit forced to me as a boomer. Okay, Avengers related stuff, or Avengers branded stuff, and Iron Man Mech. Well, of course, all Iron Men are mechs, right? It's a dude in a suit, or it's a suit without a dude if it's just being remotely controlled or AI controlled. But this gives kids 6+ here. Let me look up the 148 pieces, 10 euro? Really? I'll be surprised if it ends up being $10 US. I expect this to be 15. If it's 10, that's fantastic. If it's 15, I think that's okay. It gives you a big old Iron Man. When you put the dude in there, it just becomes a huge single Iron Man. So it's kind of, again, like the Venom Mech situation, where you can look at it as a separate thing if you want, but I think it makes more sense to imagine that when you put the minifigure in there, this whole thing is the suit, right? And again, knees and elbows, and I think this should work pretty well. As long as it's durable, as long as it doesn't fall apart on you too easily, I think this is actually pretty cool. I personally do not know which suit that's supposed to be, which Iron Man suit that is, and they don't mark it on the box here, so I don't have a cheat. My apologies. If anybody knows exactly what Iron Man suit that's supposed to be, please do look first in the comments while they exist to see if somebody's already answered that. I'll probably pin the comment or something if it comes up. But if it hasn't been answered, please do share that with other folks. It's always, good info. And then we have a Thanos Mech. We don't have another Thanos car yet. They made one Thanos car, but we get a new Thanos Mech. And again, see the whole thing as being just him, if you want. Just kind of blown up. Got the big old infinity gauntlet that's fully articulated. That's cool. With all the gems, with just regular pieces, so it's not a collectible thing. Nothing too special or expensive. 152 pieces for this one. Same price. Expected 10 euro. maybe $10. I expect it to be $15 personally, which I think would be just fine. I actually think this one might even be cooler than the Iron Man one. I mean, I think Iron Man himself is cooler than Thanos. Just, you know, for kids as a character to play with in toy form. But I personally, myself, like the look of this, I think, a little bit better. That gauntlet is really nice. Yeah, the color scheme, just everything just feels like it comes together well. Somebody's going to get in trouble, though, for posing that helmet wrongly. Look at that. It's twisted clockwise. You got to turn it back like a good 4 degrees counterclockwise before taking that picture. We need a redo on that. Anyway, that's that. I think that's going to be pretty cool. This is stuff that I know nothing about. Avengers Truck Takedown. Evidently, this is supposed to be from a game or a separate series or something. It's not related to any of the cinematic universe stuff, which is fine. But I personally don't know anything about it. So that's really my own ignorance there of the material. AIM is the faction here. So these are AIM agents. They look pretty cool to me, even though we don't have good quality photos of them yet. Got these drones that they've come up with, and these outfits. They actually look pretty cool. The truck itself, though, that's a poor quality image. Like the front of the truck, I think looks pretty cool, but then as soon as you see the rest of it, no. What's all this? It's all empty underneath. Like it's looking like it's trying to be super beefy, like something from Mask, you know, from the old days or something, you know. But then it's not. Down here with these low profile tires and all this open space down there, I just feel like that just kind of takes away a lot of its not believability, the opposite. It takes away some of the fantasy of it. Makes it look kind of weak. I don't know. I do like the fact that this opens up like that, gives you all this usable space. You can use it as a mobile base if you want to, or you can just hold things inside of there. That bike is okay. I think the coolest things here are these AIM figures, and also that little drone, remotely piloted thing, or autonomous, whatever it's actually going to end up being. Avengers, did I am so fired. I'm so fired right now. 447 pieces going back. Nope. Wrong way. Yeah, completely fired permanently. 447 pieces for this $50 or €50. I think is too much for what I'm seeing there. Make this a more significant truck, then we'll talk. But $50, nope. I say not at all. No, sir. I don't like it. Okay. Avengers Speeder Bike Attack. Again, with the AIM faction. That looks pretty cool. That whole build right there looks very dynamic. Has a lot of, again, they've used the warhead end pieces and some of the pieces that they introduced with some of the DC sets. I love that set of parts, those molds. They're super useful. You can see them used up here as well. I really appreciate the inclusion of anything like that. Comes with Black Panther and Thor also. This bike, I think, actually looks pretty cool. Okay. Yep. Yeah, that looks like it's all together. 226 pieces for this one. Expected €25 or $25. I wouldn't mind if it was a little cheaper than that, but at least it doesn't feel like a ripoff to me. Yeah, I am pretty happy with every single thing that I see here. It's one of the better, crazy, ridiculously large bikes, I think, that Lego has done ever in any series that I can think of. You know, you think of Nexo Knights, you think of superheroes, of course. You think of Ninjago has done a ton of stuff. You think of Agents, Ultra Agents, anything that they've done, maybe not Ultra Agents, but at least Agents. Anything that they've done with these big bike builds, typically they're not that cool. They're not this cool, I think. This is very cool. Those wheels are looking really interesting to me also. But everything about this I like in its design. I like this whole setup for the AIM agents. I like that accessory set. I think these figures will be pretty cool. Maybe the Black Panther figure will be the least interesting, just being the most basic, but I think that's not Lego's fault. That's more about the source material that it's based on. So here's the Avengers Endgame set with the Hulk drop, and this has the opposite of the Infinity Gauntlet mold. This one fits on right hand versus the left. So you see the thumb is right there. This set, as far as I know, is actually out in some places already. It's supposed to come out like in a week or so, but it's out now. There's no embargo or anything, so it's perfectly fine for retailers that get this to go ahead and put it on shelves. But yeah, Avengers Hulk Helicopter Rescue, the full name, right there. 482 pieces, right there. 60 euro? $60 US? No. $55 US? No. $50 US? I guess on a price to part ratio basis, that would be okay. I say keep going though. Keep going lower. $45 US? Maybe with the inclusion of the big fig, it could be said that $45 US is okay for this, for the amount of stuff here. But I don't know. I feel like that's pushing it. If it actually ends up being $60 US, that's ridiculous. There's no way. And if it's actually 60 euro, again, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, a euro is worth more than $1 US. They already have to pay in the Eurozone more on a just a currency value basis than we do in North America, or at least in the US. The US is one of the cheapest places to buy Lego stuff in the world. But yeah, 60 euro, that's just ridiculous to me. Now, going into just what I see here in terms of design, this is not a bad helicopter. Almost looks like, wait, I haven't looked up any reviews on this or anything, but do these side pylons, do these angle down? Because if they do, that's great. Because I love this fully tiled off side here and how that's done with the coloration and the line shaping is done with actual pieces. The fact that they use tiles is probably just because the pieces are available in those shapes. But it looks really good to me. The tiny little rotor, it's probably supposed to represent a no tar design, no tail rotor. So this would just be an exhaust port, essentially, or an outlet port is what that's supposed to represent. But I mean, just the whole thing looks pretty smooth to me. It looks pretty slick. The Chitauri mounts look very good to me. Got to rely on some stickers there, but they do look very good to me. And I saved the best thing for last. Oh yeah, Black Widow's in there. Save the best thing for last to talk about. Rescue. This, in my opinion, is the number one reason for any Marvel fan to buy this set here. And I sure hope that Lego did not consider that in their pricing for this, because this looks to be a really good rescue figure. It looks fantastic. That looks like that could be that could practically be the centerpiece of an Iron Man minifigure collection. It looks so good to me, personally. Yeah, the rest of the stuff is pretty good, but that is what it's all about. And if that actually goes for 60 euro, that is an absolute rip-off, and I'm not happy about it whatsoever. But those are my thoughts on these. Better pictures will be coming out again. I have to give 100% credit to JANGBRiCKS, where I saw these pictures. I know the pictures, spread all around. Stuff leaks through Instagram. I think Reddit has cracked down relatively, but Instagram is still pretty much a free-for-all. But I rely on the legitimate full-on websites that are professionally run to kind of gauge when it's time, when it's okay, to share these things. They get them typically from legitimate sources, and they are, again, official Lego images. Let me know if you have any thoughts about any of these, or if you completely disagree with any of the things that I said. That's all good, because it's all about opinions. And I will talk to you again soon.